Alright, for this video here, this is gonna be a video about my favorite, action hack and slash games, right? The hack and slash games, they're known for their the fast-paced combat, a fast-paced nature, right? Sometimes platforms, puzzles, most of the times epic boss battles, mini bosses, sequences, soundtracks, etc. First one here now is going to be a Metal Gear Rising, and please like, share, subscribe, share the video, all over. And yeah, the first one here is going to be Metal Gear Rising. Metal Gear Rising for its badass soundtracks, boss battles, right? It's incredibly, violent but fluent, smooth combat system, right? Metal Gear Rising is just this game is badass, like absolutely badass, right? But the soundtracks, like when you're fighting bosses, like it has, this game has some of the best boss sequences I've ever seen, like in a game, right? Very cool boss sequences, and the actual soundtracks, they actually complement like every boss, right? So like every boss will have their own specific soundtrack, right? Some will be a heavy metal or a rock and roll, or some sort of a badass instrumental beat. Metal Gear Rising, like just a blast to play. You have the main story, right, which granted isn't very long. It's not the longest, probably 6 hours or so, but Metal Gear Rising, man, I tell you, it's just so fun. It got to the point quick, and like in its story, the story is very philosophical. Like in its story, it is very philosophical, and it can get very violent, and there can be themes of revenge in it. But like the actual action pack, fast paced nature, like the game is so well done here. Like it's amazing. It's amazing. Learning to parry, learning the controls can take a while, right? For example, parrying, right? Getting used to the actual parrying system, right? The parrying or blocking, right? That can take a while. Now the next one is going to be a God of War 3. God of War 3, a similar type of idea. God of War 3 for its fast pace, a combat for the Blaze of Olympus, right? A rage mode, the boss battles, the soundtracks as well. Same type of reasons why I love Metal Gear Rising. God of War is more like an end. No, sorry, God of War 3 is more like an end, to like a saga. So it's the finale towards the Greek mythology era, right? But you can really feel the game carries over that a theme of vengeance, right? Kratos is literally, spoiler, so Kratos, the main character, is literally taking out an entire civilization, or like an entire a mythology, right? And yeah, like just his badass nature throughout the game, right? I can feel it through the combat, right? Every enemy like you take down, the animations are really well done. It has slight platforming too as well in it. Puzzles. There's even this one a flight sequence like in the game, right? But the boss battles like is some of the most memorable. Similar to Metal Gear Rising, it is incredibly memorable. Challenge modes as well. Various types of challenge modes. There's a challenge mode where you literally have to fight like an evil version like of yourself, a Fear Kratos, right? A new game plus bonuses, right? You can replay the game again with these cool ass new game plus bonuses, right? Infinite magic, right? Twice as much damage, etc. The God of War 3 is absolute blast to play. It is super fun to play, and yeah, The next one is going to be X-Men Wolverine Origins. Wolverine Origins, right? Based on that very mediocre, bad 2009 Wolverine film. But Wolverine Origins, the actual game adaptation, was very very fun. A similar concept to a God of War, fast-paced nature, right? A fast-paced nature, right? Fast-paced a combat, gruesome. It is brutal, right? Wolverine can literally heal from like anything. Basically, I can heal over time from bullets, explosives, bombs, etc. Wolverine as well. Wolverine, like in the game, right? He has various upgrades, like in the game, various type of special abilities, berserker mode, right? There's various enemies, invisible enemies, that'll block. There's enemies that you have to, hit from behind only, right? There's enemies that will teleport and etc. The boss battles as well. The game is gonna have a boss battles, but Wolverine Origins for the PS3 360 was an absolute blast to play. Again, gruesome. It is very gruesome, like in its nature, right? You can even see, for every damage a Wolverine takes, you can literally see the damage being taken, like in his body. And plus you can see the body heal over time. It is very cool. The animations, the visually too, very impressive. And yeah, X-Men Wolverine Origins. The same thing as God of War 3. You can literally fight. You can literally fight, like an evil version like of yourself, or like another copy like of yourself. In this one, like arena mode, it is very fun. Next one is going to be Bayonneta. Bayonneta. What I really love about a Bayonneta is the blocking, parrying system. So like a perfect parry, like a perfect dodge, right? This will activate like some sort of slow mo ability. So it's gonna slow all the enemies are like around you, like are gonna be caught in the slow mo while you still move at a normal speed, right? Bayonetta in its music, in the tone of the game, right? Bayonetta, it is longer than Metal Gear Rising, but not as long as like a God of War 3. It felt like the perfect length, right? It's gonna have puzzles as well. It's gonna have backtracking sequences. It reminds me a little bit of those older of Devil May Cry 3 or Devil May Cry 4. It has a similar tone to it, a very similar tone to it. But Bayonetta 1, and again, this is Bayonetta 1 for the PS3 360 era, right? I played it on the 360. Bayonetta as an absolute blast. The animation, the takedown animations, the movement, and the combat is so fluent and smooth. And yeah, a Bayonetta is so fun. And boss battles, some of the boss battles can be slightly annoying here and there, but aside from that though, like it is a very fun. Next one is going to be neir automata. Forgive me, I can't say that name. Automata. Neir automata. I could really add in neir a replicant too. Replicant that was a little bit more slower, but a neir automata mostly because of that opening sequence. The opening sequence was very well, the opening sequence like was very well done, extremely fast paced. It opens up in this badass fight sequence, right, where you're literally fighting various robots, and they get to this giant ass massive droid robot. And yeah, the game basically starts off like in a boss battle, right? And the game again, a combat flows very smoothly and fluently, and a movement and dodges. There's also, pickups, collectibles, various types of upgrades, etc. Right? And the game, this game is not too easy. It's not too hard. It feels like the right type of difficulty. You can play the game once, go back to it again, and play the game from a different, perspective. So there's like a part A, a part B, right? You can play the game through a different lens, right? So you can play as, what's his name, a 9S. You can play as 9S and see like, it's basically the same story, but just seeing like the story from a different perspective, and playing like a different character, having different moves, etc. Right? But yeah, the boss battles, mini bosses, right? Very unique. The soundtracks are very calming. It has a very calm feel to it. The world, even though the world is like a post-apocalyptic world, right? Humanity like has died, and for the most part, droids have taken over. And yeah, you get health drops, double damage drops, upgrades, a projectile. Your a projectile bot is very OP as well, right? The one's upgraded and all that, Various weapons, every new weapon that you find, same thing to like near a replicant, changes the actual play style, like the character and the animations as well. Last one is going to be Devil May Cry 5. Devil May Cry 5, definitely, I really love Devil May Cry 5. Devil May Cry 5, first off, it is through three different, you can play as three different, characters, right? Dante, Nero, V, and as well a fourth one if you're counting the DLC. So if you have the PS5 version, like of the game, there's a DLC version, like of the game as there is the Virgil DLC, so you can play as Virgil, right? Every character you play as has like a different play style to it. Dante like is like a mixture, like he's like a jack of all trades. He's fast. He has tons of projectiles. He's heavy hitting, right? Nero is more of like a slower character, but he can hit very heavy like at times, right? And once you get Nero's Devil Trigger mode, that's when Nero's, Nero, the actual gameplay really starts to open up for Nero. V doesn't like attack at all, but he relies on demons to do the attacking for him, right? Before he finishes off like a certain, a villain, a character. No, sorry, an enemy like in the game, right? Virgil is super fast paced, teleporting, right? Teleporting in its appearing, in his blocking, in his moves, etc. Right? And he also is a very heavy hitting character. So yeah, Devil May Cry 5, right? The main story, right? Different difficulties, obviously, right? Like it's Devil May Cry 5 is just so fun to play, right? You have various types of collectibles, the secret rooms, which I struggle to find, right? So you have to find this illusion to find certain types of secret rooms, right? There's also Bloody Palace. What I love about Devil May Cry 5 as a Bloody Palace. Bloody Palace is like an arcade mode. I love Bloody Palace. You can literally play the arcade mode and so you're basically going from a round to round, round one, round two, round three, etc. Right? And the enemies change over time, and every 20 waves, the difficulty spikes. So the difficulty is gonna spike every 20 waves. But I had a blast playing this. I had a blast playing Bloody Palace. You can play as any like of the four characters. And the main story as well is gonna have his bosses as well, the boss fights. Badass soundtrack, similar to Metal Gear Rising and Neir and Bayonneta. This is soundtracks are so badass here. This one goes full on heavy metal with some anime inspired music, right? And the music can be very, powerful and a fast pace, heavy, like a very heavy. But yeah, every character you play as will have their own unique soundtrack. Dante has a different soundtrack from Nero, and Nero has a different soundtrack from V, etc. Right? And yeah, but really, the boss battles were very well done. Right? The boss battles, they could have added more near the end, right? Sorry, near the beginning. Some of the bosses were kind of lacking early on, but then it got better and better and better and better. And you kind of start off, the game puts you in a scenario at first where you have to fight the enemy. You have to fight like a certain enemy, and but you're basically meant to lose. Like you're meant to lose. It's against Urizen, and like it's when you're Nero. But yeah, and the game, the story kind of bounces back and forth between these different characters, right? So Dante, Nero, V, right? And yeah, so you like, share, subscribe. My favorite action games. Thanks for watching.